Well guys, I think it's clearing up, so let's check it out. And it most certainly is. The clouds are gone. For how long, I don't know, but I'm going to rip the I'll take the cover off my telescopes, off the triplets, and we'll get imaging. Well, earlier today, the forecast was showing that it was going to be clear, and it was not clear at all. I had the triplets all set up ready to go, but it was not looking promising, so I decided to whack my hybrid telescope cover. It's actually my Creality 3D printer enclosure. Even though I don't use a Creality 3D printer anymore, the enclosure comes pretty handy for a telescope cover. Yeah, so it's good for just covering up during the day or something like that, but I wouldn't advise it if it's rainy weather. I always disassemble my triplets and bring them in after majority of the imaging sessions, unless it's going to be a bit rainy. Then it's definitely coming inside. Anyway, we are going to do something a little bit different, maybe. The target we're imaging isn't different, so we're going to be imaging the fighting dragons. I do love that nebula, that area. I would like to expand on it a little bit later, maybe in a 3-panel mosaic, something quite simple. But we're just trying something tonight, because I've been struggling for a while in regards to getting my imaging system the way I want it, also being able to capture the data I need to process the images the way I want it to, add my touch and my creativity and my workflow, and sort of distinguish these are my images, if that sort of makes sense. Now, a lot of you that have been following my channel for a while would know that we went from a single raster, which was a one-shot color, to twin rasters, which was a one-shot color and a mono, for adding HA to some of those beautiful HA regions like the Eta Carina Nebula, Orion, Horsehead, the Fighting Dragons, and the Lagoon, and yes, so many. Well, then I went to the triple rasters because I wanted to go full mono. I wanted to go mono RGB and then, luminance, HA, and O3. But I then thought, let's do something different. Why should I capture red, green, and blue data? Well, obviously I want it for the stars, but in monochrome imaging, majority of the time when you're imaging RGB, you're capturing luminance data as well. And that luminance is all the details, so you shoot a lot longer or a lot more luminance than you would RGB, and sometimes you bin your RGB, and there's so many variations of ways of doing things and creating the astro images that you want to create. Well, what I've found from imaging the Vela remnant in O3 HA and all that is that I really love the combination of HA and O3 in my images. Now, what I want to do is I want to utilize the imaging time by reducing the amount of times I change filters. So what I've done is I've put on raster number 1, the middle raster, my QHY294 color camera. So all I'm going to be doing throughout the night now is imaging in color, RGB color with one camera. Raster 2 is my HA, and raster 3 is my O3. Now there are some areas where there aren't any O3, or there may be no HA, or we might just discover some HA in O3. But what I've really enjoyed doing is incorporating that oxygen 3 data as well as the HA into my RGB images and creating a bit more detail. I don't know if you call it detail, depth, detail into my astro images. So I've been really enjoying it, and I feel like this is going to be the way I'm going to image from now on moving forward. That way I can just pretty much image throughout the whole night, don't have to worry about changing filters, and that's it. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to image the fighting dragons, add some O3 to it, because the last time I shot fighting dragons, which you can probably see in one of these videos on my channel, I added HA data to the RGB data, I think I did that, and it came up stunning. I was amazed by it. It was the first time I shot fighting dragons. So now we're going to shoot it with the triplets. We're going to try and capture more data, and we're going to capture oxygen 3 to add to that, and see what it turns out like. But I don't know how long I've got. Fingers crossed we do get a clear night tonight. Anyway, I'm going to crack on and get these beasts set up and imaging, because it does take a little bit to orchestrate all that, and I'll come back to you later. Now, here is my 72 amp hour lithium battery pack. It cannot handle a full night's worth of imaging with the triplets. So I do still need to work on upgrading this battery system in the cheapest way possible, because I don't have a lot of money at all at the moment. So yeah, I don't know whether or not to just buy a 100, somewhere between 100 and 175 amp hour 12 volt battery, and tee it into this, or, which is probably the cheaper option, or add another one of these little battery packs here to it, and Anderson plug them both together and do it that way. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. So right now we are underway with some sort of imaging sequence. It's a bit complicated, and I don't think I've got it fully set up right yet, so I don't really want to talk too much about it, because I don't want to give everyone the wrong way of doing things. So I'm still sort of working through the sequences, especially with 3. There's a lot of time span waiting between images, between RASes. But yeah, we're going to be shooting 30-second RGB images at a gain of 0, and I'm going to be dithering every 4. And that way it allows me to shoot HA and O3 at 120 seconds, 0 gain, and they're going to be dithering every 1. So I'm going to do 4 RGB to 1 narrowband image. That should be fine. We should be pretty good with any sort of like walking noise and stuff like that. The cameras are set at 0 degrees temperature, and right now the main raster is taking control, and it's slewing around to the fighting dragons, hopefully centering and beginning its rotation. Working out its rotation, it should be set at 90 degrees because I don't want to keep twisting the cameras around. And yeah, so what I'm going to do right now is start setting it up, ready for the time lapse. Alright, so right now I'm setting up, ready for my time lapse. I do love my time lapses, and I feel like it's a great way to creatively show the imaging session at play, and yeah, who knows what you might capture too. Well, I'm laying down on the ground right now because I like to shoot down low when it comes to these time lapses, and I've got my Genie mini pan and tilt head here. Now this here is connected up to my little mini lithium battery pack, and that way I know that I'm going to keep power through this system throughout the night, because I've got my Z7 on here with the battery group and the 14 to 24 2.8 lens, with a light pollution filter on the front there to help out. I'm going to be shooting this in what am I in? Shutter priority mode, purely because I want to see how it goes throughout the night. So this time lapse is going to be a little different to normal. I might just, yeah. So we'll see how this goes. Normally I shoot in manual mode for everything, but I would like to start to try and lean more towards day to night time lapses and night to day sort of time lapses. And eventually, I would love to get myself a linear slider for this as well, so we can really start to create some pretty cool time lapses of the triplets. Alright, so everything I think is imaging way, so cue the time lapse and I'll speak to you a bit later. Alright, so let's just say I love this image a lot. In fact, I actually tried to shoot a second night imaging of it. So the very next night, it was also forecast for clear skies. So I was going to shoot a mosaic because I want to get the dragon's egg. The dragon's egg. I mean, that just adds to the image so much. And I wanted to get to it. I wanted to capture it. I wanted to turn this image into a 2-panel mosaic. And then I thought, oh, maybe I'll, continue and make it a larger mosaic, which we can still do. But what happened? Well, it got cloudy real quick within the night, or maybe not real quick, but it got cloudy, and that was not on the forecast. And something else happened that wasn't on the forecast: rain. So while I was asleep, thinking the triplets are away, imaging away, and I'm going to capture this next panel for the dragons, fighting dragons mosaic that I've just decided to create after reviewing some of the data on the first night. I woke up to rain, to the ground being wet, and I looked across at my triplets and they in turn were wet. So what was running through my mind then? So many things. The Eagle computer, is that okay? Did that get waterlogged? What time of the night did my system shut down? Did the battery somehow last throughout, or did it shut down earlier in the night? And I had a look, and my covers were closed. So I knew that by around about 4 a.m. The battery was still going, but it wasn't long after that it had closed. Looking at the data, because when my flat panels close, I start to shoot some dark frames, and yeah, so that happened. So I know somewhere between midnight and 4 a.m. it rained. Well, I am pleased to say that the Eagle computer is fine. I opened that up and it was dry as a bone on the inside. So that is good. What wasn't good is that my RASs had water inside them. Yep. Yeah, that's not good. The cameras are fine. They all work. We're all good there. It's just that we have water inside the RASs. I've already cleaned out RAS 1, and this is going to take some time to do, but I've got to be real careful. And I've already pulled apart the telescope. Mostly the front, the corrector plate, taken that out and cleaned it all up. RAS 1 was okay. RAS 1 wasn't too bad. RAS 2 and RAS 3 are a lot worse. There's actually a pool of water sitting inside the scope. So yeah, there's a bit of a clean-up work to do, and just goes to show how much I really need that observatory, hey? Unfortunately, we all know that can't happen. But yeah, what a night. What a couple of nights. I walked away with an image that I'm really proud of, really happy with, and I still feel like there's probably some processing, tweaking techniques that I could probably do in the future. But my HA03 merging with RGB data, I feel looks really nice. And I was able to capture or maintain some of those golden browns throughout part of the Milky Way where the dragons are, as well as adding to it with some O3, which we know in the Fighting Dragons is in that middle section, sort of between the dragons, almost like a blue lake the dragons are fighting for. And then we've got obviously with the HA around the areas and picking up some of the HA around some of the stars and all that looks really, I'm really proud of this image. It's not often I say that, but I am really proud of this image, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. So on that note, I am going to call it a night, a video. I'm going to call it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed some of the drama that's gone with this video. And if you have, please give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment. And if this is the first video you've seen, please check out some of my others and some other videos. And if you enjoy them, please subscribe. All right. Well, that's it for me for now, for a little while probably, while I clean up the RASs. But hopefully winter gives us another clear sky, and hopefully you guys have some clear skies too. All right. So till next time, guys, take it easy. See you.